So we're getting started with the recipe, and the first thing is you'll take a big pan and just put a bit of oil in it. Turn it on to medium to high heat, and once it gets heated, we'll take a minute or two. I'm going to fry um, the meat, which is just, I buy these stir fry strips just to make it easy and cut it into like bite-sized pieces. So I am just going to put it into the pan. And you don't leave it in too long, just enough for it to get seared. It'll take a few minutes. In the meanwhile, just learning from time, I'm going to turn on a big pot of water. Because with the beef stroganoff, you're going to use the no yolk egg noodles. And they take a while to cook, so you want to get the water started so they'll be done by the time you finish the rest of the recipe. Just going to let you know, while the meat is frying, afterwards we're going to be melting some butter. And what I do, just because in my house onions are not a thing, I have the onions in big humongous pieces, which I'll saute in the butter and the oil that's left, and then I take them out because nobody in my house likes to have the chunks. And I do that for a lot of recipes that call for onion, just to get that onion flavor, but not actually have the pieces once the meal is done. So I'm just going to show you what the meat is looking like. See if I can. Sorry. So if you can see, it's just kind of frying in the pan. Sorry, I'm not very good with using the camera. And the meat doesn't have to be totally cooked through. There could be some little raw pieces, and then you just take it out and put it in a bowl and set it aside, which is what I am doing right now. Sorry, this takes a little longer than I thought. Okay, so I have the meat that I just fried, and I'm just going to set it on the side. I'm back. I'm going to put the heat down to medium, and I'm going to just take the butter, and I cut it into like pats into the oil. I usually put around 3 pats of butter, but you can use as much as you'd like. And once, just get a spatula. Once the butter is melted, I take my onions, and again I'm gonna have to take my onions and just put them into the pan. And it takes about just a minute until they get kind of like translucent, just so that in that butter and oil you have a bit of the onion flavor. As that's cooking, I just wanted to let you know You'll need a packet of the mushrooms, which is a 10-ounce packet. And this meal will be for about 4 people. So if you have more, you can double it. But again, just for ease, I'm going to be attaching the presentation to the discussion board. So I'm just letting those fry real quick. And again, while we're waiting, I just use 1 can of this beef broth, which will go later on in the recipe. Just kind of sauteing them really quickly. And I'm going to start by taking them out. Again, this is more just for flavor. If you don't like the taste of onions at all, you don't have to put them in. I happen to love onions, which is unfortunate in this house, but there's nothing I can do about it. So now I've taken the onions out, and I'm just going to open up the package of the mushrooms. And I'm throwing them into the pan. And you just kind of stir fry them a little bit, just so they're cooked. And you'll see they'll go from the very kind of white and sturdy color of the mushrooms to a point where they're like a lot softer, and you can tell that they're pretty much cooked through. So I'm going to let that just do its thing. Once I see that the mushrooms are done, I happen to have a packet of flour, but if you have it in a container, and you'll just take 2 spoonfuls of it and kind of sprinkle it on the mushrooms once they're cooked through. Should be another couple of minutes, but it's totally worth the wait. So I'm just going to go through the rest. You stir fry the beef, put it to the side, melt the butter, saute the onions until they're pretty translucent. Take them out or keep them, up to you, depends on your preference. Then you saute the mushrooms for about 2-3 minutes until they're cooked. And once I do that, I'll sprinkle 2 spoonfuls of flour on it, one at a time, kind of mix it so that it gets incorporated, then do the other one. And once that's done, I will take the broth and pour it in. And then as soon as that is done, then you'll add 2/3 of a cup of sour cream and a tablespoon of Dijon mustard. And I'll show you how that goes. So let me just show you this. So this is what the mushrooms will look like when they're ready for the flour. I'm just going to add the flour now. I'm sprinkling it on, and then I kind of just mix it so they all get covered with, in that flour. And now I'm going to do the second spoonful, and again, just kind of sprinkle it on. And just make sure that it covers all of them. This is just to make the sauce that the mushrooms and the beef will be in will be that much thicker. So now that that's all covered, I am taking the um, the broth and just putting it little by little so that it gets incorporated also with the mushrooms and the flour. And just keep stirring because make sure you stir it quite a bit because or else it might stick. And just keep adding. Just so you know, my water still hasn't started boiling for the noodles, so luckily I got it started sooner. Keep adding the broth. And now it's starting to look like something. So I just finished adding all of the broth. You let it simmer for a minute, just so it's all kind of one sauce. Just gonna let go. And then I'm going to go ahead and add the mustard. Again, it depends on your taste. A tablespoon is fine for me. Some people might want more. Some people might want less. That's, again, a little bit up to your taste. I am mixing that all in with the mushroom, making sure that it's kind of even throughout. And now I'm going to add the sour cream. Just scoop it out. I'm putting it in the pan. And got that. Now you just want to make sure that everything becomes even. So you just keep stirring it. It's going to look a little cloddy, but don't worry, it'll all work out in the end. Just stir it so you have the whole sauce be, you know, combined well. And sorry, I wasn't paying attention. Okay. And then the final thing is, once it kind of simmers a little bit and you get to be bubbly, then you just add the meat, stir it. The unfortunate thing is the noodles are taking longer than I thought, but that's pretty much it. So what I'll do is afterwards I will post this video, add the presentation, and a picture of my final product. It's a very easy recipe to make. Most of the things you're going to have in your cupboard. The only thing will be the meat and the mushrooms. You can, I would have to venture that you can use other vegetables if you prefer. But it's hearty. Everybody's gonna love it. And if you have any questions, just let me know. Thanks. Bye.